Databank, commence recording. This is General Ed Straker of the World Security Service. The present alien threat from Mars necessitated the creation of a New Earth Defense Squadron, codenamed Terrahawks. In this briefing, I'll be discussing the technical role and function of the Terrahawks heavy-lift cargo aircraft, Battlehawk. Battlehawk is the huge flying transporter craft used by the Terrahawks team in their fight against the android hordes from the planet Guk. The primary function of the Battlehawk is to transport supplies and equipment from the Terrahawk South American HQ Hawk Nest to any alien incident site on Earth. Battlehawk is 265 feet long and is stored in a huge underground hangar beneath Hawk Nest's main structure, the White House. The craft is piloted by Captain Mary Faulkner, second in command of the Terrahawks team, with the team leader, Dr. Tiger Neinstein, acting as co-pilot and mission commander. When Battlehawk receives a 1050, or launch clearance, Captain Faulkner fires the VTOL thrust jets, and the craft rises off the hangar floor. Next, the White House begins to split apart to provide clearance for the Battlehawk to pass through. The craft is then rotated to a launch attitude of 90 degrees, and the powerful McKinley-Thor photonic thrust drive is engaged, blasting Battlehawk through the space in the White House and into the atmosphere. The entire launch procedure can be carried out in as little as 186 seconds. The aircraft has a maximum speed of Mach 5 at an altitude of 78,000 feet, allowing it to reach anywhere on Earth in the shortest possible time. The Battlehawk Transport is in fact two aircraft in one. The large lower hull and equipment deck is the Battlehawk itself, while part of the upper fuselage is formed by a separate smaller aircraft, the Terra Hawk. It is from the Terra Hawk that all of Battlehawk's operations are directed. At 98 feet in length, Terrahawk is much smaller than the freighter ship it controls, but its nimble size makes it perfect for scouting ahead to check for enemy activity. Powered by twin Jupiter thrust jets, Terrahawk can reach speed of Mach 0.8 at sea level and is highly maneuverable. It can launch from Battlehawk's dorsal section in just 22 seconds and features a pair of powerful support struts that allow it to land on any terrain. The Battlehawk can carry a maximum of 100 Zeroids in its Zeroid bay. These spherical robots are capable of fulfilling many roles, such as acting as reconnaissance patrols or a formidable fighting force. They can be released at ground level, but are often deployed in the air over the desired target area. The forward section of Battlehawk houses a drilling and crushing excavator platform. This heavy-duty piece of machinery is perfect for clearing debris such as rockfalls or avalanches. A large collecting scoop is deployed from the front of the craft, and the transit system is engaged. As Battlehawk advances, the debris is scooped up, fed through the crushers in the heart of the craft, and expelled out of twin rear hatches. The Battlehawk's vast cargo bay makes it a highly versatile equipment carrier. One such piece of equipment is the prototype land vehicle Groundhog. The Groundhog is designed to detect and defuse high explosives and patrol hazardous areas. It is deployed from Battlehawk's cargo bay using the rear payload ramp. In addition to heavy equipment like the Groundhog, Battlehawk also carries Dr. Neinstein's personal Rolls-Royce, codenamed Hudson, heuristic universal driver with sensory and orbital navigation. Hudson has autonomous control, can drive himself, and has a simulated voice with which he can speak with his passengers. He also has a unique paint scheme known as Chameleon, which allows him to change color or blend in with any environment. Finally, Battlehawk is equipped with a Ventral Deployment bay, often used for carrying the heavily armed battle tank. When deploying the battle tank, the Battlehawk descends to a low altitude, hovers over the drop zone, and releases the vehicle. The battle tank is then directed to the investigation area. Once the battle tank has completed its assigned duties, it can be recovered by the Battlehawk. The battle tank moves into position and raises its recovery roll bar. Next, the Battlehawk lowers a pair of sturdy receptacle hooks and lines up its approach with the recovery bar. The hooks connect with the recovery bar, and the battle tank is lifted off the ground and winched into Battlehawk's deployment bay. The deployment bay can also be configured to carry Seahawk, the Terra Hawk submersible. Yes?
Sorry to disturb you, General, but there's a situation developing in Bereznik that requires your urgent attention in the briefing room.
Very well, Lieutenant. I'll be there momentarily. This concludes the report on Battlehawk. I trust you found it informative and useful. Databank, cease recording. Databank, commence recording. Hello and welcome to today's briefing. I'm General Straker of the World Security Service. In this briefing, I'll be discussing the technical specifications of the Terrahawks high-speed interceptor aircraft, Hawkwing. Hawkwing is a multi-role reconnaissance and interceptor aircraft used by the Terrahawks organization. The craft is 70 feet in length and has a wingspan of 100 feet. Hawkwing has a maximum sustainable cruising speed of Mach 7.5 at an altitude of 100,000 feet. This remarkable performance is due in no small part to its cambering SGV-9 turbo thrust drive system and the hydrooctane fuel it carries. Hawkwing is piloted by Captain Catherine Westley, better known as Kate Kestrel, third in command of the Terrahawks team. In addition to her duties with the team, Kestrel also has a successful career as a singer and musician. While a high-profile life may not seem like an obvious choice for an operative of the Earth Defense Squadron, Kestrel's public persona and influence is often an asset to the team. Lieutenant Hedley Howard Henderson, also known as Hawkeye, acts as Hawkwing's gunner and weapons specialist. A track and field injury in his youth resulted in Henderson receiving state-of-the-art cybernetic eye implants, giving him perfect 20/20 vision and some abilities that remain known to the Terrahawks alone. Hawkwing is stored in a dedicated hangar bay deep below the surface of Hawk Nest. The craft is suspended from a launch rail on the ceiling of the hangar. When a launch alert is called, Kestrel and Hawkeye proceed immediately to the hangar and take up position on board the craft. Kestrel engages full reheat on Hawkwing's boosters, launching the craft from 0 to 750 miles per hour in just 10 seconds. Next, the Thompson Ultravac runs up to maximum speed, creating a vortex in the lake outside the launch tunnel. When Hawkwing reaches optimum velocity, it disengages from its guide rail and prepares to leave the launch tunnel. Finally, the Ultravac stabilizes the huge water vortex. The launch doors are open, and Hawkwing takes to the sky. Time is a critical factor in most of the Terrahawks missions, so it's fortunate that Hawkwing's launch procedure can be carried out in less than 80 seconds. As an airborne interceptor, Hawkwing's airframe is designed around several key weapon systems. Dual Fireflash particle accelerator cannons are mounted on the front of the craft, forward of the cockpit. These rapid-fire weapons are most effective when used at close range against enemy aircraft, or when strafing large ground targets. Hawkwing's main cannon is mounted on the wing section above the cockpit. It fires a high-energy laser and is far more destructive than the dual particle cannons. The laser also has a much greater range and can be set to a wide or narrow dispersal pattern, increasing the chances of destroying an enemy craft. If even more firepower is required, Hawkwing has a final, devastating means of attack. The leading edge of the dorsal wing section contains a high-yield impact bomb, which can be jettisoned as a last resort attack. A pair of hydraulic rams raise and clamp onto the turret in the overwing. The turret is lowered into position aft of Hawkwing's cockpit and locked in place. Once the overwing is evacuated and the target coordinates are locked into the attack computer, the magna clamps are released, the overwing detaches and homes in on the target. The weapon explodes on impact with a terrific force, annihilating all but the most resilient foes. The power of the explosive charge is so great, and the risk of collateral damage so high, as to preclude its use in many situations. Hawkwing's ability to split into two separate craft is also used when transporting Captain Kestrel to her private villa. In these instances, Hawkeye remains on board the overwing when it detaches and returns to Hawknest, while Kestrel pilots the rest of the craft into the hangar bay below the villa. The process is reversed when Captain Kestrel returns to Hawknest. The two craft proceed to an arranged rendezvous, codenamed 1060, fly in formation, and reinitiate the magna clamps, uniting the craft once more. This concludes the briefing on the Hawkwing, a unique and versatile craft that continues to prove its worth in the ongoing Martian conflict. I hope you found the information useful. Databank, cease recording. Databank, commence recording. This is General Straker of the World Security Service. In the 1980s, I was the commander of Shadow during the war with an unknown alien race. Today, the new alien menace is combated by Earth Defense Squadron, codenamed Terrahawks. In this briefing, I'll be discussing the role and function of the Terrahawks orbital battle station, Spacehawk. Spacehawk's primary purpose is to act as Earth's first line of defense against the new android threat from Mars. At a colossal 1,600 feet in length, the battle station dwarfs practically every other space vessel in Earth's fleet. Spacehawk usually remains positioned in geostationary Earth orbit, ready to counter an attack from Mars. However, if the need arises, it can travel anywhere in our solar system, using its dilithium-powered Lathrol nuclear pulse drive. This revolutionary system provides a top speed of 2.4 million feet per second, allowing the craft to reach other planets relatively quickly. Spacehawk's offensive arsenal is formidable to say the least. 100 space Zeroids are positioned in a series of attack arrays along the hull of the station. The space Zeroids can be directed individually, in small groups, or as an entire force. Their combined firepower is devastating, and a vital part of Spacehawk's continued operation rests with the controller of the space Zeroids, Space Sergeant 101. 101 directs many of Spacehawk's functions under the watchful eye of Lieutenant Hero, the Terra Hawk's electronics expert. The Space Sergeant also controls the rest of Spacehawk's weaponry, including a high-output Abrams-Begg energy turret, which provides additional firepower and can be operated in continuous streams or short bursts. Spacehawk's remarkable offensive technology is in effect its greatest defense, but the vessel is far from exposed without it. An energy deflector shield can be extended to cover the entirety of the craft's hull, protecting it from the majority of high-energy assault weapons. The hull is constructed from reinforced adamantium plating and can survive a tremendous amount of punishment without sustaining critical damage. While in geostationary orbit, Spacehawk spins on its axis to provide artificial gravity, approximating the conditions on Earth, and allowing Lieutenant Hero to move around the interior with ease. The primary link between Spacehawk and Hawknest is the small single-stage-to-orbit shuttlecraft, Terrahawk. Terrahawk is 80 feet long and remains on standby in its silo at Hawk Nest when it is not docked in Spacehawk's hangar bay. When the launch command is given, the huge artificial tree above the shuttle's silo splits open to reveal the launch bay. Terrahawk fires its Alifon chemical boosters and soars into the air, bound for Spacehawk. The shuttle's maximum velocity in space is 3.6 million feet per second, and it can reach any region in the solar system thanks to the highly efficient trinitrosol fuel it carries. When returning to Earth, Terrahawk functions like a regular aircraft, deploying aerofoils and using atmospheric ramjets for conventional flight. While flying in Earth's atmosphere, Terrahawk is able to reach a maximum velocity of Mach 0.9. Although it's not as heavily armed as Spacehawk, Terrahawk is equipped with a twin laser cannon and is more than capable of defending itself against small enemy fighter craft. Aside from Terrahawk, Spacehawk's vast hangar bay is home to a variety of other small craft. One such vessel is the Martian Exploration Vehicle, or MEV. The MEV is a small craft designed for scouting rough terrain on planetary surfaces. It is launched directly from Spacehawk and touches down on the target planet using a powerful descent thruster. The MEV is equipped with a grappling arm and multi-purpose cannon. Spacehawk's remaining auxiliary craft include Hawklet, a small shuttle used to ferry personnel between larger spacecraft, and Tomahawk, a recently developed prototype rapid attack spacefighter. Spacehawk remains Earth's first line of defense against the present Martian threat, and the World Security Service is confident that it is a conflict the Earth will win. Well, that concludes this series of technical briefings. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you found the information fascinating as well as useful. Until next time, thank you for your attention. Databank cease recording.